welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
So Joanne, what should we do tonight?
Well, I thought we could talk about the new user manager. There's been a lot of questions lately about the user manager, so I thought we could talk about the changes that were done there.
Sure, okay. Makes sense. So what I'll do is I'll open up our user manager. And one of the first things you'll notice is up on the top of the screen, kind of identifying how many user licenses the company's going to own, based on the user license control. So in this example here, there's 11 owned user licenses for this company. There's one available, meaning 10 users have been assigned an active user license.
Okay.
And it's telling us also that we have 5 users set up as active, but they're set up as only able to get into data collection, shop floor.
Okay, and that doesn't consume a license?
Will not consume a license.
Okay,
correct.
Great.
And we can easily see that in the window by looking at the icon here. If the icon looks like an employee or a contact, that would signify a traditional user that will consume a license. If the icon looks like a machine or a desktop, that means that they're data collection shop floor only. Okay. If I open up one of these users here, one of the other changes that we made was to kind of section off and group up the permissions a little bit. So instead of just everything being all jumbled up on one screen, it's now organized a little bit into different sections.
Okay,
so we can highlight a specific module and then go in and give the appropriate permissions by module.
Okay, can we take a look at one of the
Sure.
modules?
Absolutely. So if we start in, or if we look at estimating order entry, okay, and then the window on the right-hand side will be split. Up at the top, if a particular module like order entry might have a couple of different parts to it, like RFQ or order entry or estimates specifically, you can give the specific permissions to that appropriate area within the module. So for example, if we look at orders, right now this user is set to deny. If I click the drop down here, there's 4 choices underneath. We can either have them set to not have any access at all, which would be deny, or view only, access allowed, or full control. Okay, which would be specific to estimates, and then we can go into the order part of it and do the same thing.
And what is the difference between those view only, access allowed, and full control?
Okay, view only would give them just the ability to see any of the information.
Okay.
Wouldn't be able to make any changes. And the one difference between access allowed and full control would be really whether you want to give delete rights.
Okay, so full control.
Yeah, the full control will let you delete anything.
Okay, great.
Where the access allowed will give you everything up to delete.
Okay.
Okay. Once you set the appropriate access here, maybe you don't want them to delete, but you want to give them the ability to access the module. Maybe same thing on the estimates. Down in the lower part of the window are all the restrictions that you'll remember from the prior version where it was all checkbox selections. Now it's yes, no drop-downs. So where you had the selection checked off before would be equal to a yes here.
Okay.
So at each of the lines, you just go into the access module. So, for example, allow ability to edit here. If I wanted that to be selected yes, you just change that access there. Some of them are a little, you want to pay attention, some of them are restrictions as opposed to allows. So in this case, if you wanted the restriction on, you'd switch this to yes. If you wanted them to have the access, you'd leave the restriction no.
Okay. And these are the same options that used to be in the old screen, exactly the same options.
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And that's going to be true with all of the sections. So over on the left-hand side, it's kind of grouped by in customer service, set the options for order entry, for CRM, and then it's grouped under in production, and then down at the bottom in the typical accounting. Right, so it's all still on one page, but just sectioned and organized a little bit differently.
Okay, now when I upgrade, will my users who were coming from the older version of it, when they upgrade, will I have to reset everybody up, or?
No, absolutely not. Everything will carry forward.
Okay, great.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, just one more. What if I have multiple users that I want to set the same rights to? Is there a way to simplify it so I don't have to set the rights for every user?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Actually, if we come back a screen, so if we cancel, or actually if we just save this user, and we'll go back to the main user page here. What you can do is down in the lower section here, in this database, this company doesn't have any groups set up, but what you could do is you could click Add in the bottom and you can set up a group. Same exact way of setting up an individual user. Give it a group name. You can set it up, you know, CSR, accounting, production.
Okay.
Still go through each of the individual sections, set up the group the way you would as an individual user, and then what you can do is you can go back to the user and assign them into the group.
And then I don't have to do the individual.
And then you don't have to set up the individual rights. You can have as many users in a group as you need to.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay, sure. Anything else?
Nope, that was it. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, this was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward for more to come.